There we go. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Um, so once you log into your account, you are going to be landing on the send and receive page. This is going to be the main area where you can email and text forms out of our platform, as well as where all the submissions will land once the patient has filled them out. But one of the very first items I like to start off with is just going to be the My Account section. And the reason I like to start here is because this is where you can update your admin information. This is also where you can update your business information. And if you are on a pro plan or higher, this is where you can invite additional staff members if you are planning on inviting anyone else to the account who may need access. The very first item, your admin information, is going to be located under My Account. And once you click the Account tab, this is your admin information. So you can actually come over here, update your first and last name if you need to make any additional changes. And also, this email right here will be your main admin email. It's also going to be the email you use to log in and out of your account. And your practice name will be located here too. So if you want to update your business name, you can also change it here. And finally, the email subscriptions. So if you want to receive emails notifying you of new patient submissions, or if you want to receive emails letting you know when your form has been updated, if you've made any requests for changes, or if you've asked for us to build a form, that's going to be these two notifications right here. But once you go in and you update your name, your email, you're just going to click update account, and that's going to save your information moving forward. If you updated your email and clicked update account, that will also be your new login. Whenever you log out of the account and log back in, that's the email you'll be using. The other item is going to be the location tab. So again, we're going to stay under the My Account tab. We're just going to click on location, and there's three items you're going to want to update, and that's going to be the account name, the phone number, and the reply to email address. These are going to be the three items that your patient will see whenever you email the forms out of our platform. So if you are planning on emailing them or texting them, it's going to be a good idea to go ahead and get this updated. And again, that's going to be My Account. It's going to be the second tab at the top, location. And you're just going to want to make sure to update the account name, the phone number, and the reply to email address. These are the only three items that your patient or client will see whenever you email the forms. And again, you're just going to click update account down here, and that's going to save all your changes. The other item under the My Account tab is users. So if you are on a pro plan or higher, you will have the ability to invite additional staff to your account. To do so, you're just going to go to My Account, click on users. You're going to click invite a user. You'll enter their first name, their last name, and their email address. And what we usually recommend for most staff members are going to be these four items right here. This is going to give them everything they need to send and receive the forms, as well as view records. And records are going to be your older submissions that have been archived underneath the records tab. So these four items you can think of as basically everything that a staff member needs in order to use the account. If you are planning on inviting anyone who is like an office manager or perhaps just running the account on your behalf, then we would recommend manage forms and packets and full administrative privileges. The reason for manage forms and packets is it'll allow that user to log in and update your form. So if you have a question that needs to be updated or even just some required fields that need to be updated, this user will be able to log in and make those changes as long as they have access to manage forms and packets. The other one, full administrative privileges, gives them access to your users tab. And the reason for this is just so if they are managing your account and you add new staff members to your team, or if you have a staff member that leaves your team, this user can log in and add or remove those team members if they need to. And the final one I always like to go over with everyone is just going to be practice integration. This is going to be completely up to the account owner, but what this does is it allows the user to download everything out of the account or even gives them access to third-party integrations. So this is going to be just up to the owner as far as whether or not they want to give any staff members the ability to download information. Once you're ready, you're just going to click send invite at the very bottom, and your staff member is going to receive an email asking them to enter a phone number and create a password. Once they do those two items, they will have full access to the account depending on the permissions that you've given them. And as far as this section goes, those are kind of the three items that I like to just go over with everyone. And to recap, it's going to be my account. The first tab is going to be your admin information. So this is what the account owner is going to want to update with their information. The second tab is going to be the location. This is going to be your business information that the patient sees. So again, you're just going to want to update the account name, phone number, and reply to email address. And then finally, if you are on a pro plan or higher and you're looking to invite additional staff members, that's going to be under the users tab. You're just going to click invite a user and enter in their information. If anyone does have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A section at the very bottom, and Nick will also help answer those questions as we go along. The other item, of course, is going to be your packets. All packets are going to be located under the My Forms page. Each one is going to have its own unique URL. Once you click it, it will open up in a brand new window. And one thing we also like to point out is that our logo and the send forms button at the top only show whenever you're logged into the account. Whenever you send it out to your patients, they're just going to see your practice name and the name of your packet at the very top. So the only person that's going to see our information is the person that's logged into Form Doctor. Everybody else will just see your business information. If you are looking to make some additional updates to your forms, if you need to update some text, or perhaps you need to update your required fields, you can do that in our form builder. You do have full control over your forms and can make adjustments at any time. To do so, you're just going to go back to the My Forms page, and you're going to click the three dots on the far right-hand side. What this does is it gives you a little drop down, and the very first option is to edit your forms. When you click edit forms, it does take you into our form builder. Our form builder is a 4-step process. And the very first step just allows you to add additional forms to your packet. If you need anything additional to what you already have in the future, you can come down here and build a form yourself from scratch. You can also import and edit any of our templates. This import form button right here allows you to make a copy of an existing form. And of course, if you are on a pro plan or higher and you want our team to build your forms, you do have the option to upload a Word or PDF document. Our team will then take those documents, rebuild your form, and notify you once it's been published. If you don't need any additional forms, but you need to make some adjustments to your questions, then you're going to click Next to Build on the bottom right-hand side of the page. This button right here will take you to Step 2. Step 2, Build, allows you to adjust the questions, the form order, and also your required fields. So if you are looking to adjust any required fields, you're just going to hover over the question, and as you can see, these little orange pencils are going to start popping up every time I hover over a question. Whenever I click that orange pencil, it's going to open up with some additional settings. And the very first one is required. When I turn it on, it's going to turn orange. And this red asterisk will appear so that both you and your patient knows it's required for them to fill out. You can also click this pencil or click done to close it back up. The same thing goes for removing required fields. So if I want to remove a required field, I'm going to hover. I'm going to click that orange pencil, and I'm going to turn that toggle off. When I turn it off, it's going to turn light gray, and the red asterisk will go away. And that way your patient knows that they do not have to fill it in because it is no longer required. And it's the same. We're going to click that pencil, or we're going to click done to close it back up. The final item is going to be text. I know a lot of times some of the forms do have like consent forms, office policies, or even some financial information. And sometimes those do need to be updated. To update it, it's the same. We're just going to hover. We're going to click that orange pencil, and it's actually a normal text editor. You can type anything you want. You can delete anything you don't want. And then again, it's that pencil or done to close it back up. Once you have gone in and you've updated your text, you've updated your questions, what you're going to do is keep going forward in the form builder. So when I click next to style on the bottom right-hand side of the page, this is going to take me to step 3. Step 3 is where you can update the overall look. As you can see right here on the packet, it just says Form Doctor. But I know a lot of practices do have logos, and you would prefer to have your logo on your form. To do so, we're just going to come over here on the left-hand side of the page, and we can see that my options have updated that allow me to adjust the overall look. So I'm just going to click on Logo File, and it's going to give me the option to choose the file. So all you have to do is click it, and it's going to go to your desktop, and from here you can pick a file that you want to upload, and you can see right now my logo is at the very top. So this is how you can add your logo to your form. And also, this is where you can update the colors. So if we are looking to change the background, I'm going to do a darker blue. So I'm going to just go through these options, and I can see right here, we have the background option. So I'm just going to click it. And again, it's just kind of a drag and drop. So I can come over here if I want to adjust my colors, depending on what you would prefer for your patients to see, you can come over here and make those changes. Then I'm just going to make it a dark blue. Once I'm done, then it's those buttons back at the bottom on the right-hand side. So I've added my logo, I've changed my color, I'm ready to publish. When I go to next to publish on the bottom right-hand side, this is where I can finalize my packet name. So right now it says sample form packet. I'm just going to change that to sample registration packet. And to finalize, I'm just going to save that name. And again, the very bottom takes you to this, the send and receive page. So I'm just going to click on my account. And now I'm on that send and receive page. So this means that everything has been saved and published. And now whenever I reload my form, I should be able to see the changes that we've made. We can see here at the top, my logo has been changed, my colors have been changed, and now my required fields and text are also updated. So at this point, I've actually updated my packet, and I'm ready to start sending it out to my patients. As far as sending it out, you do have multiple options. You can email it and text it through our platform. You can add the link to a third-party program. You can also add the link to your website, and we do provide you with the QR code if you accept walk-ins, or if you just want to have something available for those who don't fill out forms at home. The very first one I do want to go over is just going to be on the My Forms page. There's a few options there that you have, so I'm going to start there. The link right here can actually be copied. So this is generally good for anyone who is using a work email. If you're sending out like welcome emails or perhaps appointment reminders, you can actually just copy this link and paste it in those emails. The link doesn't change. So if you go in there and you make updates to your forms, if you change anything on the colors or the questions, you don't actually have to worry about updating that link. That link remains the same every single time. So you can just copy it and paste it into your email and just leave it there. The other item is adding it to your website and the QR code. Those two items are actually located in the same place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click those 3 dots again on my packet. Each packet you have in your account has its own set of settings. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to settings. Underneath settings, this is where you're going to find the code to place the form on your website. You have a link that says fill out my form online. When they click it, it's going to open up in a brand new window just like this. And we also provide you with an embed code, which is like copying and pasting the form directly onto your website. It's really just up to the owner as far as how they want it to look on their website, but you can use either one of these options. If you're not really familiar with your website and you actually have somebody that helps you manage it, then you can also enter their email address down here at the bottom, and it's going to send your web developer both pieces of code. And from there, they can actually help you decide which one looks best for your website. So these two codes are for your website. And down here is to email it to someone who manages your website. It's really just kind of up to the owner. And the other one is going to be the QR code. This is really ideal for anyone who accepts walk-ins. So you can actually like print this, put it on your counter. We even have some practices that place it in the window so that they can take a picture before they even walk in the office. And then again, for those patients that never fill anything out, this just kind of gives them an option whenever they walk into the office. They'll use their cell phone, they'll take a picture of the QR code, and from there, the form will open up on their device and they can actually fill it out in the office using their own cell phone. So you don't have to worry about handing them a clipboard or even handing them an iPad. They can do everything on their phone as long as they have the ability to take a picture of the QR code. Once you have everything that you need, what you're just going to do is click close at the very top on the right-hand side corner, and that's just going to close all the options back up. From here, you have the option to email and text. So we're just going to go back to that send and receive page. And honestly, this is the easiest one because everything can be done from this box. You can actually just come over here, type your patient's name, select the packet that you want to send your patient, and you have the option of sending them an email. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter in my email. And you have the option of sending them a text message. You can do one at a time, or you can do both at the same time. If you do both, the patient's just going to receive an email and a text message. This is really just kind of up to the practice as far as which one they want to do, but you do have both options. We also give you the option for an appointment date and time reminder. This is completely optional. And again, this is up to you. To use it, you just click, you would select the day of the patient's appointment, select the time of their appointment, and from here, it's going to give you the option of an automatic 24-hour reminder. This reminder only goes out if the patient doesn't complete the form within 24 hours of their appointment time. And it is optional. So you can actually come over here, check or uncheck, depending on whether or not you want to send them any additional emails. If you are sending them an appointment reminder using a third-party program, you're probably just going to want to uncheck that so that they don't receive any additional emails. But again, if you have patients that don't like to fill anything out, sometimes it's good to leave it on because they will get that additional reminder. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it off for this call. And then once ready, we're just going to hit send forms. Once I send it out, it's actually going to look like this every time you send it out through our platform. It's going to show the name of the person you sent it to. It's going to show the name of the packet you sent them, as well as the time you sent it. And it's going to have the status of not opened. And all this means is that you sent the form out successfully and that you're just waiting for that patient to get that email or that text and click on the link. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to click on the link so that everyone can see what happens. So once I click on the link, it's going to update in my platform from not open to opened. So now I know the patient has received my email or text. And at this point, I'm just waiting for them to complete it. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill it out as a patient would. So of course, if I'm a patient and I skip around, it's actually going to let me know I have some required questions that I need to fill out. So I'm going to go ahead and get those required questions filled out. If they are on their computer, they can sign using their mouse. If they're using an iPad or even a cell phone, they do have the ability to use their finger or even a stylus to sign their name. For uploads, if you are collecting photo IDs or even insurance cards, if they're on their computer, they will have the option to upload that information for you. If they're using their cell phone or a tablet, they have the option to upload, or they can also open their camera and take a picture. It will be up to the patient at that point. Once they click submit and land on this thank you page, the patient now knows that they've completed the form, it's been verified with the thank you page, and now the practice is going to receive an email letting you know you have a brand new submission in your account. When I log back into my account, it's actually going to turn this dark blue color. So now I know that the patient has completed the form, and I can even click on it and I'll be able to see everything that they filled out. And that way you know exactly what the patient has completed. So I can see their signatures. And then also, if you are collecting insurance information or photo IDs, I know sometimes that those images do need to be printed out separately. So you can always come over here, you can click on the image, and it's going to show you the largest view, and you even have the option to download it and print it out. So this kind of just allows you to capture those images if that's all you really need to print. Once you've completed the submission, then you do have a few options as far as exporting. You can download everything into a CSV format, which is going to be, basically an Excel sheet. You can download everything as a PDF, and of course, you can always print out everything if you need to. The final step, once your patient is gone for the day, you finish the paperwork, and you're looking to just store that information, you can archive it and store it with Form Doctor. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to click archive. I'm going to archive it. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to remove that submission from this page so that you always have your new and your pending patients on the send and receive page. So I always like to tell everybody, this is where you're going to find your most recent submissions. As far as anything that has been archived, that's going to be located under the records tab. So this is where you would say your file cabinet is. This is where you're going to be storing everything. So I can come over here to records. I can actually see my previous submission, and I can click on it, and everything's going to be stored here. I can come back, I can download, I can print if I need to. This is going to be completely up to the practice on whether or not they want to store it with us. We don't delete any submissions out of your account. So it would be up to the practice if they decide to delete. And of course, if you want to delete, you're just going to hit select. You're going to select that record and put it in the trash. Once you put it in the trash, it will go over here under the trash bin where you do have the option to restore if it was a mistake. And of course, you can always delete permanently if you need to. While your account is active, again, we do not delete anything for you. So it would be up to you to come in here and delete anything that you no longer want to store with us. As an alternative, if you are looking to download copies, we do have third-party integrations with a few different platforms. You can actually connect to Google Drive or even Dropbox. That's going to download a PDF copy of all your submissions in real time. It's actually every 2 minutes, I believe it updates, but this will, it's an automated process, and it will download a copy of your PDF submissions. If you're just looking to collect the data, you can connect to Google Sheets. Google Sheets will download all submissions into an Excel format with the questions and answers being in the rows and columns. We do also have third-party integrations if you are on a pro plan or higher with Athena, with Epic, with MindBody, and also with Modernizing Medicine. And of course, if you are collecting payments, we do have an integration with Stripe, and we also have a HIPAA-compliant integration with Square. As long as you have one of these, you would be able to connect these and add them to your form as well. The final option that I always just like to let everyone know about is support. So you do have the ability to connect to our support team. If you go to my account and click on support, we do have a guide that shows you how everything works. Our guide does have an FAQ and also does have some videos that kind of show you how our platform works as well too. And you can always submit any questions you may have here, and our support team will respond back and answer those questions for you. Other than that, that's pretty much the basics of how you would use the account on a day-to-day basis. I can go ahead and end the call with some questions. If anyone does have any questions, please submit those at the very bottom of the Zoom page. There's a little Q&A section where you can submit any questions. And I'll go ahead and just pause for a second, give people some time to enter a question if they have any. So, all right, looks like we just got a question about where the email comes from if you email the forms out of our system. That is going to be located under the My Account page, and it's going to be this location tab. That's going to be the reply to email address that you're going to want to update when you first log into the account. And this is going to be regardless of who is sending the form. So if you've added like 5 or 6 staff members and all of them are going to be sending forms out to your patients, then anytime they send it out, it's going to come from this reply to email address. So it's going to look like it's coming from your practice. It's not actually going to come from Form Doctor. It's going to come from whichever email that you enter here. This also serves as a contact information if your patient decides to respond back. So if your patient emails, hey, I just have a question about the form before I fill it out, it's going to go to the email address that you have listed here as your reply to email address. So it is going to be a good idea whenever you log into the account to make sure to get this email updated. And again, that's just going to be my account, location. It's going to be this email address, and you're going to click update account. A common question that I do get about this is, if I update this email address, is that where all my email notifications are going to go? Short answer, no. So anytime you update this, it's just for the patient's information. As far as email notifications, all users are going to get an email sent to their email that they've set up with the account. So as an admin, your email notifications will always go to the email that you have listed here. And as a user, the emails will always go to that user's email. So if I complete a form as a patient, the user is going to receive an email notification at their original email address. This one right here is just for the purpose of the patient seeing that contact information. Any other questions? Just as a reminder, while I give a few more. Oh, it looks like we got another question. So this is gonna depend slightly on, okay, so go ahead and just let everyone know. So I got a question asking if we embed the HTML code on the website, similar to Wix, how will it adjust depending on the desktop or the phone display? So I believe Wix actually gives you a widget where all you have to do is add the link to the form. And what you would probably end up doing is just adding this URL, because I believe Wix kind of just gives you some areas where you just insert the link and it displays on your website. If that's the way that your website is updated, then all you have to do is just add this link right here, and then Wix will auto shrink the form as necessary. By default, the forms will always shrink to the size of the device that the patient is using. However, I do want to let you know 2 things. And because you're using Wix, I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're probably managing your website yourself. So I do want to show you, if you go under settings, the option that I would suggest, depending on how you've built your website, is going to be this one right here on the left-hand side. Because all this is going to do is it's actually just going to add a link to your website saying, fill out my form online. You can always update this text to say something else. But whenever they click on that link, it opens up in a brand new window, and then it'll shrink to the necessary size depending on the device they're using. The thing that is tricky about this embed code right here is the adjustment could vary depending on how your website is built. So if you have like a large sidebar on your website, it may not shrink perfectly. So I would probably suggest using this one right here on the left-hand side, because regardless of how your website's built, the form always opens up in a new window and it shrinks to the necessary size. So this one would probably be ideal. But again, I do believe Wix just has a widget. So you can actually just copy and paste this link into the widget, and then it will display correctly on your website. And then since you are asking about websites, we actually get this question a lot in support. So I do want to let everyone know, whenever you are logged in, you still will see the Form Doctor logo and the Send Forms button if the form is on your website. If you want to see what it looks like, you have the option of just clicking this blue button and that will hide it. Or if you log out of Form Doctor, you'll see what the form looks like normally for your patients. Correct. So we just got another question about the form opening up in a new window. So I'm go ahead and just let everyone know that regardless of how they fill out the form, if you email it, you text it, you place it on your website, or if you just provide them with the link, everything is still going to be HIPAA compliant, because everything once entered into the form is encrypted. Our forms are encrypted in transit and rest. So if you just have the form sitting on your website and someone's typing it in, it's going to be encrypted. Once they hit send, it's also going to be encrypted. So you can definitely place it on your website. If it opens up in a brand new window, you still are HIPAA compliant, and everything is still safe and secure for your patient to enter into the form. These are great questions, by the way. I believe we have time for one more question. If anyone else has questions, feel free to submit them. All right, so I did have go ahead and I'll take care of this, answer this live. So it looks like our final question is just going to be a little bit about, creating a form, something simple that we can be added to a website. So I'm just going to go over here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to delete this out so that everyone can see. But if you're starting from scratch and you're looking to add just, a simple form, you just want to collect someone's name, their email address, and maybe just a quick little text box for them to enter some information, we're just going to go to the My Forms page and we're going to click Add a Packet. Since this is something small that we are building from scratch, then I'm just going to go ahead and keep this scratch option right here. By default, anytime you click add a packet, it's always going to load a blank form for you to build from scratch. So now that I have my blank form, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click next to build on the bottom right hand side. And as you can see, it's going to have that patient name. So this is a great starting point. All forms need the patient name. This is actually how we keep track of the PDF. And this is also our naming system. So once the patient submits the form, it's always going to come back as that patient's name. So we're going to go ahead and just keep this here. Just so everyone knows, the patient name is going to autofill anywhere you use it. That's actually going to be this top widget on the left-hand side. So if you are looking for additional names, you're going to want to use this text field. This will allow you to create additional names, emails, phone numbers. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, just to create something simple with, a name, email, and phone, I'm going to just click this text field. It's going to add a blank one. And the request in the question is name, email, phone, and a message. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click that text field one more time because I'm going to want to ask them their email. And then finally, I'm going to do the large text field. And this is going to allow them to enter in their message. For each one of these, you can see when I hover, I'm going to get that orange pencil. So I'm just going to click that orange pencil. And this is where you can update the question. So this text field would be the question that the patient is going to see when they review your form. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to say phone number. As you can see, it updates here. And then we do have some additional formatting options. If I click over here for format, I'm going to see that phone number. So I'm just going to add that. And then I'm going to click the pencil or done. It's going to close it back up. And then I'm going to update my others. So I'm just going to come over here, click that pencil. I'm going to change this to email. I'm going to update my formatting to email. And then the final one is going to be that large text field. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click that pencil. And I'm going to say, please enter your message here. Again, just that pencil or done to close it up. Since we are looking for a normal contact form that we're going to add to our website, I'm not going to do too much styling just so that it looks clean on the website. And the final one up here, the form title, this is just going to be the name of the actual form. I'm going to change it to contact form. So I have my title updated. I have my patient name. One thing I want to show everyone too is we can see the patient names over here, but the boxes are over here. So I'm going to click that pencil and I'm going to turn on my align left. And that's just going to make it full width the way that I have these down here. Once I'm ready, once I have everything I need, I got my phone number, my email, my message. I'm just going to keep clicking the buttons on the bottom right. So next to style would allow me to upload it. Allow me to update my logo. If I wanted to add a logo, I could do that on this page. But again, since it's going to go on the website, I want it to look nice and clean. So I'm just going to keep going forward. Next to publish is where you're going to finalize the name of your packet. I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to change it from my form to contact form. And then I'm just going to hit save name. That's going to save my name so that when I publish, it says contact form. And then again, just hit that last button on the bottom right. So I'm going to go to my account. And once I'm on that send and receive page, that means everything has been saved and published. So I can now go to the My Forms page. I'm going to see my contact form. I'm going to click that link. And now I can see everything that my patient's going to see. So it's going to have my practice name, the name of my packet, the name of my individual form, and it's going to allow them to enter their name, their email, and their message. The reason the email is turned on is so that they enter a valid email address. So they're not going to be able to put a bunch of random letters. It's not going to recognize that as an email address. But this is technically how you can go in, build a simple contact form. When you're ready to add it to your website, we're just going to go to My Forms. We're going to click those three dots again. We're going to go to Settings. And now I have brand new pieces of code that I can add to my website so that the patient can fill it out when they're ready. All right, everyone. This is all the time we have. But again, I did love all the questions that we did receive today. I thought they were really great. If you do have any additional questions that we didn't cover in today's call, just feel free to go to my account, click on support. You can ask any questions that you may have here, and also you can search our guide. I'll also be sending a recording of today's call to everyone who joined. That way you can rewatch the video if you need to. But again, I really do appreciate the questions. They were really great. This is going to conclude today's webinar. We will be following up with everyone, sending them a link to today's recording. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to our support team. And we do host these webinars every day at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please feel free to join again or even invite any additional staff members who may need additional training. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a great weekend.